The Egg Bowl kicked off rivalry weekend as it was 11 a.m. on Friday, and Ole Miss went to Mississippi State and won 38-19. It was close for a while. State just couldn't really keep up, unfortunately. We got our classic Egg Bowl shenanigans. Lane Kiffin claiming State students stole Chambliss's jersey from the locker room. A fight on the field, which led to Zach Selman, Mississippi State's AD, and Lane Kiffin being like 5 feet apart and pointing at each other. Lane Kiffin claiming that they're just here to play football, and Mississippi State wants to fight, and he's just not for that. All that kind of stuff. But once again, Ole Miss did win the game. It is now their third straight Egg Bowl victory, if I have that right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all's thoughts on this game?
JP, started off as always.
Yeah,
Take a deep breath, buddy.
well, I think, leading up to it, there were obviously it was named the Distraction Bowl, and a lot of people's previews really didn't lead into what was going to happen on the field, really whatsoever. A huge developing story that became this story when State took their first series was that Kamario Taylor got his first start as Mississippi State's quarterback in the Egg Bowl. Cinema couldn't have it in any other way. I requested for it 2 weeks ago, and we got it. Levy did a really great job throughout the 2 weeks of hiding it, going as much to say that he is trust in Chapin and that Chapin's our guy. Paraphrasing, but that is essentially what he said in multiple different interviews.
That was on a Sunday interview, is that right?
Yes, over the 2 weeks, including the post game, the bye week, and then the preview of this week as well. It was very well hidden. Looking back on it, the signs were right there in front of you for me personally, who was in there in the stands 2 hours before kickoff when the ABC production crew is filming Kamario Taylor do his warm-up, and they didn't film Blake Shapen. When Blake Shapen comes out with a haircut, most of the time you get a haircut for multiple... Look, I think for guys at least, and for me, you get a haircut to signify something changing. For me, I don't cut my hair. I don't try to, at least, throughout an entire semester of school.
Sure.
And then I'll cut it going to the next school. New me. Breakups. You get a haircut, new me. After the end of a basketball season, you get a haircut, new me. Chapin was clearly broken up with and got a haircut.
Levy dumped him, man.
Levy dumped Blake Chapin, just as much of the fan base did many weeks prior, and I did 2 to 3 weeks prior. So another telltale sign in front of you. Another one, Chapin changed his warm-up. He came out not focused, talking to people. Normally he would wear a headset not too unsimilar to this one. Of course, it wasn't wired, but he would do that. He would have his stretches, and then he would start throwing, and he wouldn't talk to anybody, like a pitcher on game day in baseball. He was talking to people. He's chatting with people, so the signs are right there. They don't do the starter introductions on the scoreboard. The signs were there, and yet when Kamario rolls out, it is nothing but cheers and cowbell ringing from the fan base. And I'll go ahead and tell you point blank, I was emotional. I was emotional when it was confirmed in our chat that ABC had said that he was going to start, because for the amount of torture and turmoil that this fan base and this team and the students especially, I feel that, and the players had gone through for 3 or 4 years now, to be able to get something again that you requested for, this time finally in the form of something on the field, which it can only make you emotional. And it made me emotional. I'm sure it made many State fans emotional as well, not to the point of tears like I was, but to the point of cheers and jubilation, because we'd requested for the interlocking logo. We got that. We requested for the LED lights. We got that. We had been requesting for Kamario Taylor, and we hadn't gotten that yet.
No gold letters, though.
Sadly, no gold letters, and that is the reason we lost. I'll go ahead and stand by that, as well as one other reason, which I'll get into at some point. So, when one rolls out there, as he is so-called, Super Kamario, my standpoint on the game really completely changed. At that point, I was going to be, of course, extremely upset if we lost the Egg Bowl. But I wouldn't care as much now because it's, like I said 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's what I wanted, at least, as my last game as a student, to get to see Kamario Taylor start a football game for State. And he did. And he played his fucking ass off. He really did. He really played his butt off. He made, for Lebby to have talked about all season, we got to avoid the negative plays, and the kid rolls out there, and he should have been 8-yard loss, 10-yard loss, 12-yard loss, multiple times throughout the game, and he turns it into a 2-yard gain and a 5-yard gain, and a first down, and then a mother flipping touchdown. Absolutely unbelievable, incredible. It can only put smiles on your face. And we want to table that conversation. And I think it'll be something we talk about of, did Lebby make a mistake not starting Kamario earlier? At that point, for me, I don't care because we got it eventually. And that's really all that matters. Kamario was outstanding from a runner perspective. He was fine from a throwing perspective, especially on the first drive when I don't know who it was because he didn't have a nameplate on the back. Drops the opening kickoff. I think it was a senior. He just rolled out a senior. I don't know who it was, but he didn't have a nameplate on. I assume because he has a number that was similar to someone who was playing on the field for kickoffs. He rolls out there, calls for the fair catch, drops it, then picks it up. And if you don't know by rule, if you call for the fair catch and you don't make the first catch, you get the ball if you retain possession off the fair catch wherever it lands on the field. And so Kamario was forced, after a opening drive touchdown from Ole Miss, to drive 97 yards from his own damn 3-yard line in front of the student section. And he did that. He did that with his arm to start, and then he did it with his legs to end that drive. Kamario was outstanding. Fluff was amazing, and in large part he gets all the touches because Devon Booth apparently did something idiotic and was suspended for the first half. The O-line was holding it really well in the pass protection game, and even when they weren't, Kamario was making something out of nothing. And I want to give nothing but credit to Kamario for how he played in his first game. And then with the way he responded in the post-game press conference. The kid's going to be a star. I mean, I think we've proven that at this point now. And with the way he reacted in the post-game press conference, being upset that they lost, feeling like he left stuff out there on the field after he accounted for 361 total yards. I think we've got something brewing there. I will be utterly shocked if Kamario Taylor isn't a draft pick and a high draft pick from Mississippi State.
Sure.
Because the talent that he has is really off the charts. If he can get the accuracy down, if he can make the layups, then I think we've really got something brewing here in Starkville once again at the quarterback position. All that being said, the game never really gave him the chance that I really wanted him to get throughout the game, which was State never had a drive where they had the chance to go take the lead for real. They were down. They had drives, I think 2, where they were down 7, and you could argue they could take the lead if they go for a 2-point conversion, but we never got that chance when we went and scored. In fact, every time State scored, the School Up North answered with a score of their own. So a failure there defensively. And then on the other hand, every time we forced a stop, except for one, we didn't score. Only once did we force a punt and then score on the next drive, and that was to cut it to 14-10. We're not able to capitalize in the red zone as well. Of course, when you kick field goals against a team that can score as much as they can against our defense, you're never really going to have the chance to succeed down the stretch. I think firing Coleman Hutzler is completely on the board and probably should be. I think the argument last year is fine that, he didn't have the players to. I do think he had enough players to not give up this many rushing yards and this many passing yards, and to not load the box and to rush 3 guys and give Trinidad all day. and our corners weren't able to plaster their receivers because why would they be able to as easily? Your best chance coming into this game was going to be being aggressive, getting after the quarterback, forcing Trinidad to think quickly and make throws based off of anticipation, not throws of I sit here for 5 seconds, then I see the guy open, then I throw it to him, and not giving him super, super easy one-on-one situations. They capitalized on every single one of their one-on-one situations as well in this game.
That's what hurt is every time we did bring pressure, Trinidad was making like off his back foot dime to the corner of the end zone. And it's just,
I'll say to that, you got to live with it.
Yeah.
You have to live with it because I think I texted in the chat, and that's how I feel right now. We got, at least from that, in those plays, what we wanted, which was put our DBs on an island and let's see if they can make a play and win a 50-50 ball. They lost every 50-50 ball in the game, but Kelly Jones Island was not targeted once, as far as I understand.
Yeah, didn't have to be, unfortunately.
yep.
Because, I mean, you could even see the thought process there because there's that stretch kind of in the probably 3rd through 5th Ole Miss possessions where Chambliss was off, where he wasn't hitting those deep balls. He wasn't putting the one-on-one opportunities in positions for his receivers to go make a play, and that's when you are getting stops. Now that it didn't continue for the whole game, but I think you could see some of that thought process there you're talking about. Diago Brumfield's name has been involved way too much just throughout the whole season when it comes to other opposing wide receivers scoring touchdowns or making big catches.
Yeah. For me, or you got more stuff to JP to go?
No. I wouldn't say I say no, and then I'm going to say
Yeah, you got it.
probably a minute more of stuff. I want to credit our fan base for showing up.
Yeah.
This was not one of the things I was really scared about, and one of the things I thought would not matter in this game was really our home field, and we never really got a chance for it to matter in this game and really affect the School of North because of the way the game went. But our fans showed up. This was not like the Tennessee game. It was kind of close, but it wasn't the same. That was not a field of orange over there as much as it was. There was more orange than there was powder blue on Friday. And I want to give our fan base credit for that, considering how the season went and showing up for the Egg Bowl and giving your tickets to state fans, etc. There, I want to give them credit for that. And, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. On that, I do think it's the closest to 50-50 I've seen at an Egg Bowl from in either location, Oxford or Starkville. But it still was farther from 50-50 than I was expecting, which I was excited to see. I also do think that it might have been closer to the Tennessee game than you realize, but because it wasn't white and orange, it doesn't stand out as much because it was maroon, and sometimes State fans wear gray, and Ole Miss fans wear gray, and Ole Miss fans wear powder blue, navy blue, red. It just it's a lot less noticeable. It doesn't pop as much as a whiteout when every single Tennessee fan shows up wearing the same orange. That's just the kind of reality of perspective and how you look at it. Because as the game ended and all the Ole Miss fans were standing with their pom poms, it was a lot of Ole Miss fans. But I was also happy with the way attendance turned out and how many State fans were there and how loud they were. It was awesome. Even though we didn't get what we wanted, it was really sad to see Brendan Thompson wear maroon and white for the 12th and final time. Other seniors, Albert Reese, who missed a lot this season, guys that maybe are done because they're going to draft Kelly Jones, Isaac Smith, TBD. But it was really cool to see all of them in the Egg Bowl, especially the guys that have been here, like Isaac Smith, Kelly Jones, Nick Mitchell, who have been in Starkville for multiple years, not just one and done kind of guys. But yeah, the Kamario Taylor thing for me, I found out 2 hours before kickoff. One of my bosses told me because I'm on a camera. He was like, "Hey, Kelly Jones is going to come out. find him in the huddle, follow him. I got to follow him out in the field and like get him.
Kamario?
Yeah, what did I say?
Kelly Jones. You pulled the
Otherwise-
SEC
excuse-
Network
yeah.
mistake.
Kamario Taylor. I got to follow him out on the field, but that means I had to keep that secret for 2 hours, and bro, that is the hardest secret I've ever had to keep. But it was
You could have shot a text.
No.
They would never have known it was
take
you.
my job too seriously.
They would have never known it was
Nope.
you.
Great power comes great responsibility. When I knew that, I had to resist the temptation to jump up and down and like whoop. But I was very excited to hear that and got excited to see it. Excited to like be in the end zones for his touchdowns. But yeah, it sucked. I said in the week leading up to it that I had visions that we were going to win. I was like, I can already see Kelly Jones going to the locker room and getting the trophy. I can see Isaac Smith running through the down the Gridiron Club with the trophy, high-fiving everybody. I think maybe my visions are 2 years early, and Kamario Taylor will be lifting the trophy in 2 years in Starkville. But yeah, it was a really sad ending to the season, but also I don't want to get into the future stuff, but I'm also excited for the future from what some of the stuff we saw on Saturday.
Sure.
And it was tough that the game went the way it did because I did feel like we just needed one thing to go our way. We lost the turnover battle, 1-0, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
We had the one Kamario Taylor interception, got batted at the. I didn't see it. I had my back to it, but it was like batted at the line. Is that right? And then went off another set of hands.
Off a defensive lineman's helmet.
Off a defensive lineman's hand.
Hand.
And then out to
Fluff.
and Fluff tried to catch it off the rebound and tipped it up, and then it got picked off.
Yep. We were not able to force an Ole Miss turnover, which I think is one of the things we talked about, is we needed to force turnovers, which that came with the territory of make Trinidad think fast, make them throw quick throws, and that just didn't really happen. We let them sit back there and dice us up. But that was difficult. I liked the way we handled the run game. I mean, Kamario Taylor ran a lot. He scrambled a lot. He avoided those negative plays. But Fluff Bothwell with 80 yards. Sad to see Devon Booth's final game, only 3 carries, 6 yards. But
Sounds like it was his fault. So
yeah, no, for sure. And
it's still sad. I get it. I'm not.
Yeah, but it was a tough loss. But Ole Miss was the better team, and we were gonna need a lot of things to go our way. Early turnovers, get the crowd in it, get them very loud, and kind of take Ole Miss out of it, and really get that rivalry magic that happens in the Iron Bowl and the game when Michigan beats Ohio State as 20-point underdogs. Like, we needed some of that dark magic on our side, and I don't think we ever really got it.
Yeah, it'll be something I talk about in one of the other games we do, but rivalry games, you need... It is like with what they've said about Georgia a ton this year, of you got to cut the head off the snake.
Yep.
And I think it's the same in rivalry games where you have to cut off the snake of belief for the team that is the underdog. And if you don't do that, the longer you don't do that, the more nerve-wracking it gets. And Ole Miss was able to do that immediately, score a touchdown. We go down, score immediately to tie them. Then they go and score another touchdown. They were able to keep this at bay and never really gave us a chance. And every single play that needed to go their way went their way.
We did have the one missed field goal early.
But then you turn around and throw a pick.
No, I know. I was just going to say that we had that, whereas like if we go in and score there, maybe that's the play, the thing that people look back on and say, well, there was the moment where Ole Miss missed a step and Mississippi State took advantage. We didn't, but we did have that one play.
I'd argue that's the difference in the game. But I think that's basically it from a takeaways perspective. Only other one I want to give credit to is Seydu. The way he played was outstanding. 4 catches for 68 yards, I'll say. But the way he blocked downfield for Kamario and for Fluff, I thought was the best he had done all season. I thought he was unbelievable. Multiple times in the game, I am cheering, let's go Seydu, because he's blocked a dude downfield. I want to give him a ton of credit for the way that he played. And maybe that becomes a thing in the future for Kamario, that people just block more downfield because they know Kamario can do anything, and he showed that on Friday. But we'll save all the future conversations
I did have
our next show.
A couple of funny thoughts about the Kamario start, or one of them funny, and then one of them just maybe for y'all's thoughts. The first one is Blake Shapen doesn't go through senior day.
That's another telltale sign.
I think we're getting a lot of hindsight 2020 here because, well, I'm not going to get, we don't have to get into all that. There's a lot of explanation. A lot of the things that you gave as signs, there's a lot of reasonable explanations for, but we don't have to get into that.
What do you mean?
He needed a haircut. 1. 2, it's his last day in the stadium, and so he's like talking to the people he's been here for 2 years with.
Yeah, but if you're starting QB, you're
Not
not
as a
changing up your
competitor.
3,
routine.
Kamario Taylor is the freshman phenom. Blake Shapen is a 6th-year starter. ABC's, and he's not like the 6th-year starter that's like fascinating. He's the 6th-year starter that's like, all right, he's done. Like, so ABC's like, oh, let's get clips of the 6'4" freak, as opposed to the
Were there clips of Keelan Russell prior to the Bama?
no, because
Auburn game?
there's zero QB controversy at Alabama. I think there's just some hindsight 2020 here for the telltale signs you speak of.
I think there's hindsight 2020 for you because you knew. For the fan base and everyone in the building that didn't know, and for me who got there 2 hours before kickoff and watched all of these things occur, and I thought to myself at the time, that's interesting. To now have seen what that ended up turning out to be, I think those are all signs of what was
Except
done
I
is done.
knew, and I was watching, and nothing jumped out to me. It's like, there it is. That's how everybody else is going to find out.
But haircut in a vacuum, that's one thing. You could really just wanted a haircut. The biggest thing is a competitor starting QB is not going to change up his routine and his warm-up.
He'd been
Maybe
very
it hasn't been working.
No, he has been very particular to that routine. He's done
Yeah.
the same thing in every home game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the road because I've only been to one.
That was one thing. But so he doesn't go through senior day, doesn't get booed. And so there's a part of me jokingly that's like, Lebby is such a big Shapen guy that what if he started Kamario just so Shapen didn't have to get booed again? That's a joke. That was a joking. But the serious question that I had, and maybe this is too future looking, and if so, you can say yes or no and move on. I wonder if Lebby just started Kamario because he's the future, right? Because you want him to have a game. If you trust that he can have a good game, that you can then go out and go to wide receivers, running backs, offensive linemen, and say, look at how he played in the Egg Bowl. Like, it's not just you want him to get experience, and it's not just you think he gives you the best chance of winning, but it's you think this is going to be our best pitch to every high school and transfer recruit that we might get is this kid number 1. And so number 1 is on, like, I think that's maybe that's one of the reasons he might have got the starting job. And you can say,
First of all, 1 is his name.
What did I say? Number 1?
Number 1. His name is 1.
My bad.
Tomato.
Jack, do you want to go right?
You can go, and then I'll pick up if needed.
Yes, if the pass was incomplete on 4th and 5 at Arkansas. If we weren't able to be bowl eligible,
Yeah, okay.
then yes. But I think with the ability to be bowl eligible and win the Egg Bowl, 2 of Lebby's biggest goals coming to the season, he was going to play like I'm pretty sure he answered that way in at least one of his questions throughout the 2 weeks. I'm going to play whoever's going to give us the best chance to win the Egg Bowl.
Yeah.
And so if he truly felt that it was Shapen, he would have played Shapen.
Yeah. Unless he didn't want
I
to get
think
booed.
it is only a added benefit because of the way Kamario played that then becomes potentially a reality.
Yeah.
But I don't think that influenced his decision.
Yeah, I think I probably would agree with that. I do think he enjoyed the benefits that also came with starting Kamario.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, but I don't think that was the decider for him. I think the decider was he wanted to go win the game.
For future reference, nicknames for Kamario are
Super Kamario Taylor.
Super Kamario, not Super Kamario Taylor, but Super Kamario. We have to be specific because we need to trademark them before state does.
Gotcha.
And then sell them.
Yes.
You can have them for a price. Letting us be the sole sports podcast from Mississippi State University.
Yes. Just like J.J. McCarthy has 9, we have 1 now.
Hopefully
And
it has a more positive connotation down the line than 9 does.
What I've called,
Hey, 9 won a national championship. All right,
True.
I'd settle for that.
He wasn't
Would you
9
settle
at
for
the
national
time,
championship?
though. He wasn't 9 at the time.
I wouldn't settle for that. I would just take that. I don't
You're
feel
right.
like- that
You
didn't
got
feel
higher
like
standards
settling.
than that. The guy who says every time State does something, well, that's Mississippi State for you. Your expectations are too high. You want to win a
Well, that's what he's saying. That's not a settle because, like, how do you settle for a national championship?
Yeah.
Like, you're taking that. Oh, yeah, sign me up.
Like if you told me we could have 2, but you could take just the 1,
You're taking 2?
I would settle for the 1.
No, take the 2.
We could have 2. We're not guaranteed to.
Oh, I
We're
see.
guaranteed 1.
Okay, yeah, I see what you say. So you're guaranteed 1, or you have a chance at 2. You take the guaranteed
I'll
1.
settle for the 1, but that's Champagne Problems. The final nickname is what I've called him all season when he's played in games, KT.
Yeah,
Cool.
That's it.
sure.
All right, is that it?
For the Egg Bowl.
think that's
Then
it,
we
yeah.
get
I think
to
that might be it for
off-season.
Mississippi State football. What a season.
Well, we have an off-season.
Yeah, but the season is
Primer.
over. That was the end of our
We don't
first
know if the
season.
season's over.
I guess we could go to a bowl game as a 5-7 academic team. But
I'm pretty sure there's
in
3
all,
of those spots available. North Carolina right now is the highest.
They only won 4 games, though, right?
I thought they got to 5.
No, I'm pretty sure they just won 4.
Okay.
well, in all likelihood, that was the end of our first season discussing Mississippi State football on this podcast. And what a season it was.